Welcome to the Mystery Channel, where the veil is thin and the echoes of ancient knowledge speak through myth, magic, and the turning of the cards. Welcome everyone to the Mystery Channel. My name's Morgan, if you don't know me.
I am Bjorn, if you don't know me yet. So I'm just installing my laptop because we had a very interesting conversation that leads to the bridge towards our event on the subject of Imbolc and all that. So I needed my laptop for a translation. And this new laptop for those who missed out. I don't know if I said this already. No, we have when you were in school, you have the most crazy explanation if you did not do your homework that your dog eat it, something like that. But you know what happened to me? My cat urinated on my laptop. So yeah, you know about that. But yeah, I'm now in front of my new laptop, so it's I really needed to, the show must go on. So finally I have a new one, everything is installed, and now I'm looking for this translation of this term, because that's, people will not maybe understand, but that's what we always have behind the scenes, that we do have to translate certain concepts and stuff that is still very much different between America and Europe and all that. So, but that makes it really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking a few minutes before we went live. You had something very interesting to say, which I wanted to know about. So then I said, you can all experience this live. This is so I will grab my laptop and then I will search for what I want to translate. So what was this, what you wanted to say, Morgan? Because you do a special celebration. So our event is on the 1st of February, but you also have a celebration on the 2nd of February. So,
yes.
And what is that all about? And at the meantime, I'm sorry, I just do if I'm at home and I just need my coffee.
No, you're fine. That's perfect. That's around the kitchen table, just having a conversation,
Yeah. The crazy thing is about me, I always have a fork in my coffee instead of a spoon.
Nice.
For some kind of reason, I think it's better anyway.
To flow better. No, it's fine. No. Yeah, because there's obviously we're going to talk a lot about all the other ones, at the Imbolc event. But yeah, here, and it's huge event. And I'm sure if anyone's seen the Bill Murray Groundhog Day, in America we do Groundhog Day with Punxsutawney Phil. He's the little groundhog that, if he sees his shadow, more, days of winter. And of course, he always sees his shadow for 6 more weeks of winter. It's just inevitable. Yeah. But it's up in the Allegheny Mountains. So it's up in the mountains in Pennsylvania. And everyone loves to go see Punxsutawney Phil and his predictions, of winter. But it comes from, more ancient things that did that, and this one, I'm familiar with not the entire details, but it's the bear in Scandinavia or Germanic, and I can't remember which one, but the bear that comes out and sees his shadow and goes back in. And I feel that's kind of where they got it from, as well as Baba Yaga, because if you see Baba Yaga out gathering wood, 6 more weeks of winter because she needs it to stay warm. But if she's not out gathering wood, then it's a shorter winter. So, they have those themes everywhere, but in America, it's all about the groundhog,
Is this a local thing, or is this general celebrated throughout America, or what?
Oh, yeah, I believe it's actually a national holiday. It's on the calendar of our calendars. And he's on the news in the morning. They film it. Everyone's there filming all of it. And just depends if you want to go there or not and celebrate with it. But yeah, people watch on the news, Punxsutawney Phil making his predictions, Yeah. The guy, his handler or whatever they call him, is always wearing the, that top hat,
Yeah. Yeah, it's all with divination. That is also what I was writing in the essay I will provide on the 1st of February. Yeah, and that is all. Yeah, a lot of things to do with divination were very much practical back in the days, and always, or not always, but most of the time to do direct or indirect with fertility.
I think every holiday, every Sabbath holiday has an aspect of that, of something that's even in, wintertime, the winter solstice.
Yeah, and that back in the days, archaic societies was also pure pragmatic in that regard. And
Hmm.
nowadays we have more like, also time to see, okay, to do introspection and all that. So I don't know for sure if that was always the case back in the days. It's like, I don't know if you ever heard about the pyramid of Maslow.
Hmm.
It's like where you have like, and at the basics of the pyramid, you have like your direct needs, like being sheltered, to have food and all that. So, and the more
Okay.
layers that you have, the more that you can, aim towards personal development, aim towards, developing yourself. So, yeah. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
in those times, a lot of things, shift towards, okay, what's needed to survive actually, or to warm myself, or to, well, very
Yeah.
pragmatic.
Yes. No, I have. Because that actually, somebody turned that into a Lenormand spread a long time ago. And I'm trying to think if I still have it. Because, you lay the cards in the thing of the pyramid. Like you said, what do you need, the basic needs, and then what, when you lay the cards out in that order of the pyramid, or tarot, I guess you could use tarot, what are the cards telling you, having that support of survival for that layer? So I
Yeah,
have heard of it.
yeah. Yeah, but that's all. That's really great. And I provide some examples. And the best thing to get a grip on that, because there are very few direct sources, but a lot about that is to know in like old songs, for like ancient folklore, or like old sayings and all that.
Hmm.
So I was looking for the word, and that was in the back of my head though. So on the 2nd of February, it's like a Catholic holiday, and here it's called Maria Lichtmis, but it's like in English it's like Candlemas.
Yes. Yes,
And it's
Candlemas.
like,
Okay.
the purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary. The purification, because it's like 40 days after she gave birth to Jesus, in like Jewish tradition. Then you have to show your born son in the temple.
Hmm.
It's like, but it also always has to do with like pre-Christian roots of in that regard, because everything is about Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And Holy Mary, or like Freya, and all those derivations of Mother Earth goddesses are like an extension of the Mother Earth archetype or principle.
Yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
the same with like Imbolc actually means like inside of you, in your womb or in your belly. That's not like directly translated.
Oh,
You see,
yes.
then you can understand the symbolical thing of what I'm already saying. So this time you cannot see anything yet, but atmosphere is like pregnant of spring. It's like compounding, and also purification.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have been to war with like midwinter. It was like a very nasty fight, so to say, and now we have to clean the air.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
purification.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
we go like in Roman heathen times, now we have like what's in more Celtic Germanic areas, like what's in the beginning of the winter. So the idea of dispersing evil spirits out of the house and all that. So
Yes.
that's what I always say. If you like hover above that, you can see how they do that, but then they switch like, dates or whatever, or can also be regional.
Yeah.
Because in
Yeah.
the end, people give account of what happened in history, but maybe that's just like a small local thing, which we now think in hindsight that it was like an overall big thing. We don't know that for sure. And the
Yeah.
only thing
Yeah.
that you can do, what I find, is that you study it all, and that you understand the concept of it, and then you can see it for what it is.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I like
So
that too because,
that's yet again the aim for the essay, not to give you a very lengthy way of how things happen. I don't think most people are not interested in that. But maybe if I can kindle or can make you understand how to see that, how a researcher looks at that, or like an anthropologist and all that, then it's very interesting, I find. So it's and. So
yeah.
make sure that you are part of that. In the end, I also think so, and it's not a dogma. But if you understand how they like came up with it, how they reason, how they use didactical materials in order to do rituals or use symbols, then you can do your own stuff if you want so, or you can choose to cherry pick or to follow strictly tradition, whatever. You have to understand why you do it, maybe. But what do
Oh,
you think about that, Maria?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, definitely. Because it's going with the cycles of nature, going with how it goes into your life. Because, like you said, it's not
Yeah.
seen yet, but it's still working under the surface. There is so much, like, that's the thing, is going too deep into it and saving stuff for the actual talk. But there's so many ways, like you're saying, to work with it, how it reflects in how we're living our lives and supporting us. So, yeah. And then, of
Yeah.
course, each different one culturally.
Yeah, and maybe this time it's more maybe interesting also to do more around psychologically theme, because it's like a period of purification. Because
Oh,
there was a lot of stuff happening, but under the surface. Then all of a sudden,
yeah. And like talking to you about how people usually confuse this time with the planting time that's growing instead of, like you said, just the purifying, preparing,
yeah,
cleansing
yeah,
even.
yeah. And the interesting thing is that around when we do the event, the first sign of having a little pregnant belly from spring is when those flowers, those white flowers, snow, how do you call them?
Yeah, the snowdrops. Yeah, the
The
snow. Yeah,
snowdrops,
yeah.
And for me, I don't know much about flowers. I like it, but that's for me. Since I've been like a little kid, whenever I saw them, it gave me comfort because, yeah, spring is like in the air. This is like the first sign. It's like the first tangible side of pregnancy of nature.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. Especially with those flowers. And I know you saw, I did post it in the community group with a whole explanation.
Yeah, yeah, I should catch up because I was just home, like I said, so I'm always like
Yeah.
running back and forth, up and down.
Oh, but for the
Um,
people, if anyone's interested, it's in the group today with that, and it's National Popcorn Day, so I did popcorn divination article.
Popcorn. And do you like your popcorn with sugar or salted?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So actually, salted, definitely not butter,
Yeah,
but salted.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, more of a salty thing. Love popcorn.
Yeah, and how do you do divination with that? Eat 1 or 2 kilogram and watch if you get like a stomach ache or what?
Oh, yeah, no, right. Oh, there's a couple different ways. I've got them all listed there. So, like, you can do the actual divination ball.
Don't give it all. Just give one so
Oh,
that
okay, yeah, that's
someone use for itself. Otherwise, you
okay.
diminish your hard work.
Okay, yeah. Well, I have like 6 different ways I think that you can do the divination thing, but fine, I'll do the one that is just popping it. Like you take kernels and you do a timed thing of asking your question, and then it's how many popped versus how many are semi-popped and how many didn't pop, and then I put it all in there on how you do that divination. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it. That's what you always do with like the events. You have such beautiful, creative ways to kindle interest, and especially, of course, that it's something I'm sorry, yeah, jealous is not the word, but it's like, yeah, like women, they can really go into that, I really like that. So that's really great. It gives
yeah.
way to do more tangible things.
Oh yes, we're making use of everything, right?
Yeah,
seeing
yeah,
the seeing the use in everything too. The magic,
you
I
do
should
it.
say.
You do a great job. And I'm actually like I was the main time was like researching what you were like saying. Like it was the first time I ever heard that like Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah, it's
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it does come originally out of the European Candlemas tradition.
yeah,
I
because it
think that's
comes.
what they were saying.
Oh yeah, because it comes from the German, the Germanic Amish people that came over here. Because in Pennsylvania, there's like Pennsylvania is like the big place where we have all the settlers that came with the magic. That's like the highest concentration of and I'm gonna butcher it, that something witchery, I can't remember, but like they brought their magic over here, and then that's how the Amish kind of set up shop. Like, and then what else? Oh, and then yeah, the Groundhog Day. But
Yeah,
it's like the Quakers kind of thing. It's like our version, they became like the Quakers when they came over here. And it's like a Germanic, like a Dutch German immigrants that came over here and set
yeah,
up a bunch of different things. I know in a lot of my videos, I go to their little towns because you can still see all their settlements and the remains of their settlements too. It's really fascinating. And they brought all their cultures over here. And for some reason, that's the culture that's stuck with America. That Pennsylvania,
yeah,
the Pennsylvania Dutch, the Pennsylvania,
yeah.
the Groundhog Day, and all their other holidays as well. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whilst here, this is not popular. But there's also things that happen, and organic stuff, especially in regards of symbolism, spirituality, has its own ways. And then often, post-industrial revolution, there was like enlightenment. So, and I doubt if enlightenment really shed a light. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But then you see,
Yeah.
like, okay, there is this somehow also forced secularism.
Yes. Yeah.
But then you see that there is always this reaction, most often, because it's like secularism, but then you have like, if you talk about Western Europe, our roots are pagan. So it's,
Yeah.
in the end, it's always like captivated by Christianity, but then it goes its own way, Roman Catholicism and all that, they, on the surface. The secularism was like always a straight attack on Christianity from there on, you see? But then you see that the Christian layer falls off, and then there's automatically, often they go back to pagan roots.
Yeah. Yes. Always.
Yeah, that's something really strange. That was the same like I talked about like in midwinter. And we have like the Saint Nicholas, so very popular Catholic saint, taking all over all the pictures from Odin and his wild hunt. But then there's all the, like this big schisma. You have like Protestantism. There's totally within Christianity the opposite. So the Protestants, they said, okay, those Catholics, they are even worse than heathens. They are like Zoroastrian. Like 1,000 saints, 1,000 gods. That was like back and forth. But then they say, okay, we don't want to. So the Protestants, Protestant areas, they said, okay, we don't want to have idols. We don't want to have, a mass which seems like pagan colors and all that crazy stuff. We need soberness. But then there you also see it. So they forbid Saint Nicholas, and then you say, okay, but then we have like the Black Nicholas, and they go really back to the roots. But that's something wonderful, isn't it? That's also that you say you cannot kill a tradition, or you cannot kill a. You see what I mean?
Oh,
that's also somehow the same there.
Yeah. So oh no, you can't. Especially if you're trying to move forward with something new, you have to find a way to bridge the old.
That's something really, really magical. There was also like, for instance, like in Turkey. Turkey is also a very interesting culture, historical background. So it was like
fascinating.
Always like a part of Byzantium. And then very powerful, like Constantinople, Istanbul. It's like really
Persia. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they got captivated Islamic. After that, they also somehow secularized. So it's not like how they have like an Islamic experience like an Arabic country. So, it's always like local ways of going on with things. But then all of a sudden it's like a secular government, and they somehow forbid everything. It's like somehow a pseudo-communism, so to say. They wanted to be so secular that there could be no sign of any religion at all. So they somehow also forbid Islam. They forbid all that. Then this government, after years, disappears, and mosques appear from anywhere, and religion lives more than it ever had lived.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's really interesting to see how that happens. It's like how do you call it? If you push something down, it wants to get up again.
Yeah.
So actually,
it's like that beach ball under the water. Eventually, it's gonna come and hit somebody in the face, including yourself.
Yes. Yeah, you can keep it under there, but the moment that you loosen your strength and eventually have to, it pops really up. And the deeper you push that ball on the water, the higher it will fly.
And smack you right in the face.
Yeah.
On the way up.
That was a very, very big sidetrack. But anyway, it's interesting from Groundhog to Istanbul.
Oh yeah, yes.
But it's all connected.
Yeah, because I'm probably sure that back in the day they had their February 2nd, because most cultures do, but I can't remember because normally I just during that time period I always focus on like Roman and Greek. Well, because with Ovid and all of his stuff, he he wrote down like every single festival they ever had every month, no matter how long, and wrote everything about it. So it's easy to follow those holidays.
Yeah, and that's also because most of things we do, at least here, but or like Celto-Germanic in function, and there's a lot of overlap with Roman culture and like Greek culture. But then all of a sudden there was also this idea, okay, like our own traditions, like German or that's like okay, that's outdated. And now we dive into Greek, and that's more sophisticated and all that. And therefore we have like an academy and all that they throw that at the people, and that's good. That's good, But they were also really great German philosophers and all that, especially like in 19th century and all that. And they choose to play with Latin and all that. So that's strange. Europe has a very strange self-hate traditional history, which is also identity.
So fascinating though.
And it's really interesting to hover above that and to see the big denominations.
Oh yes, definitely.
So
See the connections.
But isn't it strange that everyone knows about the Yule of Achilles or whatever, and nowadays they do, but a lot of people, they don't know really who Donard is, or the Morrigan from Celtic. I really find that strange.
Yes, no, it's true. And even some of the older ones, like I always like to read about the ones where they still like have something inscribed on a well. So they're talking about how this deity was worshipped at this well at one time, but yet it was been lost from all records. So all you have is that ancient script,
Yeah.
Those are the fascinating ones.
And we have to talk about the well as well.
Yes.
Because, it's a portal towards the belly of Mother Earth. And that's what like Imbolc is.
Oh, belly,
Nature has to find birth out of that belly, And how did it came into that belly? That's because like the Earth and Mother Earth and Father Heaven, the traditional Indo-European ID, were so closely together that they had like intercourse, and out of that intercourse, the new sun gets born. And that's also somehow in the Christian thought, because the intercourse between those normally had like the soul invictus, so the son gets born again. But now Jesus like born, but they had to put it all over the agenda to put it there, because there was no original consensus on when Jesus was born.
Definitely not. Since it's all. But it's usually aligned around the same time. That's the thing, like we were just saying. Everything that's the same tale, on who's born when, always aligns around the same, seasonal time. It's not specific.
It's just an explanation on what ever happened. That's very much simplified. But in the end, that's what it is.
Yeah, makes it fascinating. That's when you do the deep dives.
So if you want to find out the ins and outs about it, about this subject, if you want to find out how you can experience much deeper than ever before your annual feast, your celebrations, your rituals, you have to be a part of our 1st February event, which it will be great. We do 2 events. So for the price of 1 event, you get actually 2 events. So you can be live there and engage with us. So really want to expose ourselves to adventure, and you can really ask questions and we will zoom in on that. We don't take the easy route, but this is the route we want to take. So we want to be courageous, not too much scripted. Because that does not work for me anyway. No. I rather have like somehow, it's not like anxiety, but it's like the tension of not knowing what will happen, how I will, I really like that. And that's the way I want to do it. Otherwise, I cannot be motivated. I want to do things with tension, with a bit, adventure. I like to be a pirate.
Yes. Oh yeah, I love it. It's good because then you just don't know where it's going to go, and you end up getting more than probably what would have been scripted.
We fly the Jolly Roger.
Yes, always.
Also interesting symbolism, but that's for another time. So seriously, but make sure that you are there, because you can experience 2. So best case, for a really reasonable price, you have like 2 events for the price of one, and you can be part of it in both. You can have interaction. If you don't have time, you can always see them afterward. But they are never two the same
Yeah.
events. We never had two the same event. I think from the moment that we have like 2 events, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Two the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
event. It's not
Yeah.
us.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And then
Yeah.
it's like repetition. So I think if you want to experience something really genuine, something creative that really erupts from that particular moment, yeah, you have to be
Yeah.
part of all events.
Yeah.
That's where we
Absolutely.
make the difference. And that's like,
Yes.
something, if you have to go to a good party, that's not something that you can make before, and that's something what spontaneously uh, comes about.
Oh, yeah.
So we want to
Absolutely.
do the magic live.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I love it. It's exciting.
So yeah,
Keeps it exciting.
yeah. So be there, subscribe. If you don't have time, say it to a friend or a colleague. You can also gift someone
Yeah.
subscribing this event, whatever.
Oh,
We will make sure that's worth your money on
yeah.
information, on
Oh,
exchange of deep knowledge.
oh,
It's
yeah.
so much more than just ramble about a subject. We
Oh, yeah.
really want to, that you can also see the world through our eyes, isn't it, Margaret? So that's really
Yes.
magical and all that. And it's not about how much things you know. We are very much into nerdship, but you cannot compare that, because for like 20 years I don't watch television. So all this time I was like reading books and all that. So, and I even
Oh,
think I might be a slower learner than everyone who is listening there, but I invested so much time in what I find was interesting. So now it's the time to give it back to you. So, but in the
yeah.
end, it's not about what you know, but what you can do with it. And I think
Oh,
there lies the real merit in what we do is that we provide tangible things to go about with your rituals, with your symbols, and to have a deeper understanding.
oh, I 100% agree. Even just from the last, our last one, we were talking about mistletoe, because everyone knows what mistletoe means, but what's the deeper way to use it? What's the modern way to use it? What's even, it goes way deeper than just what you think you know about stuff. And that's same with Imbolc, with all of it.
So make sure that you're there. If by any chance you cannot make it or you will not be a part, please make sure that you follow us. But also tell it to your friends, your colleagues, whoever you think can benefit from this. This is like real genuine creativity a la minute. Sometimes things might go wrong or there might be a crack in all of that. But this is like real, and it's like the antidote for modern ChatGPT crap coming from some robot. If you
Oh,
still want
yeah.
to be human and you validate human capacity,
Oh,
then
yeah.
this is the channel that you have to
Oh, definitely
follow.
watch.
So please
Yeah.
do so. Go to our socials, follow us, and
Yeah.
probably I see you at the 1st of February. Have a
Yes.
nice day.
And I have the link to sign up for that in the comments of this video. So go to the comments of the video and click the link.
Everything Morgan says. Hey, hello everyone. Thank you
Let's
for
move
watching
location.
now live or later on.
Yes. I'm just moving location. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were like vanished in the darkness.
Yeah. Yes. I had a lot going on over there. It's like spring cleaning, but in July. Or July. See, I'm not even in the right month. January.
Yeah. You lost track. Anyway, I did not lost track because our first event of 2026 is due at the 1st of February. Yeah, make sure that you are part of that. We work around all those important moments in the year cycle, and it is like a real interesting time because the earth is like pregnant of the spring yet to come, and it's a period often overlooked but so important also in regards of rituals, about symbolism, about folklore and all that. So we will dive again deep into that, how that all comes together with syncretism, with pagan basics, Christianized, and from there on, everything to do with divination, with sorcery, whatever, mystery. Yeah,
Yes, definitely.
that's our core business.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like this is one of the overlooked ones, especially when it's been taken over by several different cultures and several different people, do different things about it, but yet it's not one that's really talked about.
Yeah. So I was just still writing, so I'm again providing an essay that goes together with the event, to have some more historical, symbolical insight in this period, whilst Morgan, on the other hand, with her creativity and experience in like divination and all that, she will provide a lot of fill in, Morgan, special tasks and all that.
Yes,
What do you
definitely.
have in store for the subscribers?
Well, definitely on how it's celebrated in like the magical world, but also, I was thinking because we always do a countdown or a countdown after, that a lot of things happen around then, because Chinese New Year is a countdown till then. Every day they do something different as a countdown for that specific holiday. So we're going to do something with like how each day is energetically, like, or how it should be, how each ancients did it, and we'll do the countdown like along with them, because it's that awakening time, it's the seeing things more clearly instead of actual action.
Yeah. I was actually filling in today my agenda for this year, so I'm always like celebrating all the equinoxes, all those special things I want to, and sometimes I even celebrate with like 20, 25 people, it's spontaneous, but sometimes I'm also like alone or with my son because he always bears with me. But it's like, for me, it's like a tradition. But this year we are like very lucky because like every equinox is like almost falling in the weekend.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Or
I
I think
know.
we get very short to it in order to celebrate it. So 2026 will be brilliant in that regard.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I know. Starting with like the winter solstice, that was on Sunday, and then this one, which is on Sunday. So
Yeah.
there's like no more excuses for why you can't celebrate, or dive deep into it.
Yeah, but especially if you really celebrate this, it's like always more fun like in the weekend. If you want to invite some people, if it's just midweek, then it's often not. Or they come like, or go home for like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So.
Oh yeah. And
as true heaters, we have to push through the night to see the sun coming up next morning.
Exactly. Especially for Imbolc, you want to see that sun coming up. New time, see your shadow, like Groundhog Day here. But yeah, oh my gosh, absolutely. I feel like it's busier too, because then you can like people do more, like for Halloween on the weekday or Christmas on a weekday versus on a weekend, that people have more events, things are opened, like I know here there's little villages that like to decorate and like have treats and bakeries and stuff so you can walk around and celebrate it that way, but they don't usually do that during the week. So and then you're celebrating that energy with everyone, not just people
Yeah. And that's the thing what's so magical I find about our events. We will explain that stuff, and then also we hover above it and look through a more like perennial lens that we see if we have like big denominators all over the world, cross-cultural. But also a lot of local interesting folklore, rituals and habits, and if you all put them besides each other, you can really see like the big denominator, and then you can understand the conceptual thinking. Here it's also like local, and that will be due by that time that they like disperse the winter.
Yeah. Hmm.
That they were like, okay, someone is like sometimes just dress like a snowman, or sometimes also dress more like wild hunt stuff, and that we're like hunting them down, back through the woods, back to the wilderness.
Yes.
Yeah, and these
I
are like always like yeah, order versus chaos, and then it's like it's like arm pulling a wrestling match between those seasons, for the fight for the sun, or the fight
hmm
for in order to give the light, and
Yes.
by a neck race, the sun just won again.
Yes, exactly.
Like we by now always know, but can you imagine how that back in the days was? Still every year
Yes.
like a serious quest.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's why I liked you were waiting for the, sun to come up the next morning, because that was huge. Like, you're now going to celebrate survival, that you survived, you made it through.
This is like a compound period. It's like the air is literally pregnant with spring. I always say it's like a compound period, but
Yes.
very subtle. It almost like from now until midwinter, almost like within a few weeks, like 1 hour more light a day.
Yeah. Oh,
So
definitely.
it's like
And
very
earlier.
subtle. And then you
hmm
have like the same thing. Okay, from midsummer, like the sun is falling into Mother's Earth, or they say like the Mother's Night, like the Anglo-Saxon idea that the sun is like falling each day, climbing less higher. So it's like falling into Mother Earth in order
Yeah.
to have this. Yeah, how you call it? The Heros Gamos, like the unity of contrasting elements, and from there on, the new sun gets born, the Sol Invictus.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Oh,
yeah, that's really great. But and then it's like the sun is like climbing each day a little bit higher, and then all of a sudden we start to recognize it. And that's for the same like when we have had like our first event with the period around Halloween. So the end of October, beginning of November. Then we for the first time really see, okay, it's like getting colder, it's like getting darker. So and then I
yeah.
have the same feel with like, okay, it's like February. It can still be cold, freezing, or snowing, but there's something in the air. Spring is
Oh,
in
yeah.
the air. Like
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's like a change in the scents, too. It's changing
yeah.
everything. Smells
And
different,
I
I
think
think.
that's always the most amazing period. Whenever you see that, leaves start growing again on the trees, or like the first things pop up out of the earth. And how the name, there are these flowers, these white flowers. They are
Oh,
always like,
this. I don't know the actual name, but snowbells, right? You're talking about the snowbells?
yeah. I can
Yeah.
translate that to Dutch. Yeah, it's all something with the snow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This.
I'm not a connoisseur of botanic stuff, uh, but aren't these the first flowers that grow somehow, or am I saying
Oh,
something dumb?
no, yeah, they are. Actually, we can even put an article, like, well, not an article, we can even we'll create an article, I should say, about it, because, yeah, it absolutely is the January flower. It's the first one that
Yeah.
comes, the first sign that, spring's coming back. Magically, it has its, purposes. Yeah, it's really fascinating. That it's, I don't know if it's the actual, because they always have two flowers for January, and I can't remember if it's one of the ones, but it is that official January is coming, like it's
Yeah.
first to kind of flower. But yeah, the snowbells,
That's
that's how I
interesting.
always think of those. That's why I know it's January, like that, what you were talking about, because that is January. When you see those flowers, it is January.
Yeah. You know, everything to do with flowers and flower magic is very yeah. That was also like a real big thing, So a lot of trees are somehow also connected to certain concepts. So I
Oh,
also know here, like in folklore, but I don't know the translation in English. But there's a certain tree that's like linked especially to the dead, but I don't know. I don't know the
to the Like, are you talking about the Celtic? Are you talking about like the Celtic zodiac? Because I know the Celtic zodiac each month has the new tree that governs that month, and then it goes through all the magical reasons why, if you were born under that tree, and how that's how their zodiacs. Because everyone's zodiac is the same. You got the Chinese zodiac, Celtic zodiac, Egyptian zodiac. Yeah, they're deities. Egyptian zodiac is deities, but all different.
So I don't know if I have to. Then it's interesting to make a comparison, but I think it's like the idea of like, I have to really learn that those English translations because there are always like trees are like coming back. So the oak is most of the time always like linked to Donna, to Thor. It's also like something interesting because there was often this link because if there's one tree amongst all others who has like the most chance to get hit by lightning, it's like the oak because it grows really high and it's always like really how you call it. They have a lot of water in it.
Yes.
So
Oh yes, and that's then when you even take a step further because the oak is what you use for like lightning magic, or if you're going to do things with that element. Like there's so much to do with that as well. They go deeper and deeper the more you go into that. The trees, the magic of the trees, and then you have the dryads, which is the tree nymphs, and each nymph is for a different tree. I'm like stumbling over my words, but the dryads, like they're very worshipped in a lot of cultures.
Yeah, that's also again linked to the three norns and all that. So
yes. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Once I was about, Morgan, to buy a very, very expensive book. So I'm really interested in plant magic and all that, but it's also diverse, But there is a compendium of European botanic plants. That's like a real old book. Was very, very expensive.
Sure. Yeah.
But I was like, it was like an auction. I was like, it's like a fight back and forth, But they really gave way too much,
Oh, yeah, that's always disappointing.
But it's really interesting in how that works, But in the end, it's also how we always experience like sympathetic links they find with that,
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. And even so, because it's just fun fact, but when you start diving into, because everyone was into the Harry Potter, I'm sure they still are, like it's always huge Harry Potter, but they have their specific wand that's from a tree, and she really matched that tree with that person. It's like their personality. It's everything to do with it. It's like she researched the trees first and then gave the wand to the specific wizard.
Yeah, my whole family is like crazy for Harry Potter, but with all my respect, it really never captivate me, but I really do see how it's not just like it's really like working with alchemy and all that, so it's really thought through. So I really take my hat off for what they created, but to be honest, it never really grabbed me, it's like but that's not a because I never watch television and all that. I really
Oh yeah, no. Well, I was lucky enough when it came out. It was just the books. I think because I think almost all the books came out before the movies came out, right? Or did they? I can't remember. But I read the books, so and it was and that's where you really saw like more of the magical side of it, more of the how she matched the wizard to the wands or to the specific skill, that they have. So, like I said, just magically speaking, she took a deep dive into the magical world, and I found that fascinating that she did her research.
That's really, and the best thing is that you kindle like magical thinking with children. That's the best that you can do.
Yes, especially when it's true. So they're learning, like true magic, like on aspects of it. So I think. But that's if we're going back to the trees, that they have so many magical correspondences and magical meanings, and how they're going to be worked with during this season and why. I mean, you can do a real big deep dive into that.
And I have to translate those names because I do have a lot of interesting things to tell about, and I definitely know that you also have a lot, I assume, even much more information in that regard, because you also work magically with that. For me, it's more like something to know. But I really work with that stuff as, when you have like summer solstice and winter solstice, I take like the last remnants of the big log of wood and all that. So, and
Oh
then
yeah.
also, yeah, in my garden, I have certain elements, either Masonic or like, yeah, but really, yeah, symbolical. So I really like that.
Oh yeah. I completely agree and I think it's well, just for me, important to know, like you said, all the herbs and stuff, because if you're creating a set of runes on like the oak lightning wood, but you want it for peacefulness, well, now you're just bringing a bunch of lightning into your readings. You know what I mean? It's not going to be peaceful versus finding the tree and the bark that's peaceful and creating your runes on that instead.
Yeah. By the way, now we're talking about that. I need your help, Morgan, and everyone else who is listening now live
Yeah.
or later catches on. I have like two huge bowls of mistletoe.
Yes,
It's like unique. I told you like. But I have them like almost for like 2 months, but I forgot I had them. So I really found them in my garage. So I was like sorting my wood and all that. And then, oh yeah, I
yeah.
have the. So what can I do with them?
I like that because, well, I mean, speaking of peace, I was just making sure we didn't have any comments. Speaking of peace, that is a very peaceful one, but like fertility, love, and I know in some places, let me see if anyone did it too. In some things, it's protection, because the mistletoe is what Loki was like, throw that, throw it at, that was like the one thing that could kill Balder, throw it at him, and he was obviously, reprimanded for that after. But it is that protection. You hang it for protection against evil. You hang it for protection against bad energies coming in.
Yeah.
But it depends on how you want to put it down. Do you want to dry them? Because like I could definitely send you some stuff on how to dry it. I can even put it in the group too on how you would dry it. Or are you thinking of putting it in like, I know, yeah,
Like
yeah.
so big, and I know that's so unique. I really have to knock on wood, also something symbolically, because I will never
Yes.
get such an amount of mistletoe.
Oh, yes. I like it too, because like for mistletoe, when you're talking fertility, like the birth of an idea, like I like to crush it up and put it in like my ink or like what I write in, because you're like birthing these ideas and you want that magic to help your ideas flow. Or like what else like fertility you want to grow, like what you want to make an abundance, of. Like putting some in making an oil and like, you rub on your wallet, like, or rub, on cards or even money. I don't know, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that kind
something
of,
to duplicate.
yeah, yes. And see, you work through it and see where it fits for you best if it is warding off against evil. Because that's the thing too, is that warding off against negative things. Like, so if you're using it in your writing, like, and you put it on your paper or the ink because you want that
Mhm.
fertility of abundance of ideas, but you also want to keep away negative thinking. You also want to keep away doubts, these evil entities. Because I know people are like, oh, it wards against evil, and they think just like evil. But like, what could be considered evil or negative to what you're doing? It could be writer's block. It could be, ideas, doubts, and you start doubting yourself so you don't put something into it. You know what I mean? Like, think of it more as like, that's the thing, whenever people read like the basic things of what it is, they jump first to the conclusion of supernatural. But really, we live in a modern world. So what are the modern things that are keeping us, especially if you have this great idea and you feel the need to share it, maybe keep it to yourself till it's protected with the mistletoe, protected, stable, and you can stand by your idea instead of justifying your idea, and have that mistletoe help you protect your idea until it's ready to be put out into the world, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Okay, that's great information. Eddie. Thank you. And do you have any idea on how I can preserve this?
Well, I know there's different ways, and there's always drying it. But for mistletoe, because like how you dry it, because a lot of the times I usually use sometimes I use the oven. But for mistletoe, I've actually never dried mistletoe, believe it or not, because it's poisonous, on some levels. Because being on the road all the time, I've actually never done that, because usually I hang dry all my herbs, But I thought for mistletoe, oven drying, it's the best. But I wonder if, let me see if somebody wrote comments. But I feel like you want to keep it like
Yeah, I
where you keep
realize
it
that
in.
it's so special to have such a big amount.
Yes.
And here
Yeah.
it's like protected. You cannot grab it. If they see you, you will pay a large fine. But this tree was like fallen down.
Yes.
I just had to get it.
Yeah, no, because I'm trying to think, because like some of them you put them in a solution to dry, other ones you hang dry. Sometimes you put it in the oven until you like the oven dry. And I'm trying to think, because I've actually, that's the one I've never dried mistletoe. I've dried like mugwort, I've dried cardamom, like, when you actually have to crush that though and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
even sea lettuce. I've dried sea lettuce, but like, I've actually never worked on mistletoe without just buying it first because like you said, you can't just buy it fresh anywhere. You can't get it fresh anywhere. So there would have been no reason to dry it. So I'm going to look that up because I got some really good books from when I was in the herb, getting my certificate for herbal thing. And I wonder if it's in there. Because like a lot of the times if I know I'm never going to use it, I don't think about it. So, but and like I said, mistletoe, you usually can't get your hands on it. It'd be the same thing like belladonna. When are you ever going to grow belladonna, and then have to dry it? You're just going to buy it,
Yeah. This is a unique amount. I give people who are like special to me. I give them like a piece symbolically, but I still have like.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing if anyone had any comments. And there are people watching, but not yet. So like I said, because mistletoe, is very like, it's a very unique plant. It's like the same as coming across like belladonna or like, you know what I mean? Something that's just not seen, not done, like, and it's in the evergreen family, so you're really not supposed to ever burn or like destroy evergreen, it's in that lives on forever family. That's why I'm thinking you might need like a solution to do that. I'm going to look that up now.
So anyway, it will be fun again, and we will even dive into like symbolism on buildings and whatever has that to do with like this period, and it has a lot of to do with it, because everything is like in according with the cosmos, and houses are built like the cosmos, and a lot of hints even on churches or like especially in rural areas who are alluding to fertility, and especially like the ing runes and all that. You see them still like made in architectural buildings like in windows and all that, and then you somehow always have like the X form, and the X is like duplicating, double it up, make it more. So that's very interesting, but I will give some insights on that, because, and then you have like the ing, but Ingvi, it's like Ingvi Freya. It's like the Lord, but it's like really alluding to fertility, because it's like Freya, and Freya is like the couple on fertility.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's something for the essay. So make sure that you are part of that. The sooner that you subscribe, the faster that you can ask questions. So the longer that someone also can be in the climate, be part of that. The big advantage. So we have like two events. One, we aim for the hour that is normal for like where Morgan is like in America and everything. I am like 8 p.m. Brussels time. So, but if you subscribe, you can always see both, but you can always have access to both live. So you can really dive into that and have a conversation. And like we already are used to, we never do like two the same events.
Yeah.
If that was the case, we should throw the towel in the ring.
Yes, exactly.
That's not us.
No.
It can be totally different. So the big advantage, you pay for one, you get two.
Yes,
in the end.
Exactly. And plus with the countdown. So we're going to have, it's probably going to be a 10-day one though this time, just because I have a lot of stuff. But it's fun because every day you check back and join the community. We're reading the PDF. So it's like an extended part of the celebrations.
And maybe I was thinking, maybe we should do something, a quiz or something within the event, and whoever wins gets a piece of my mistletoe. But then I have to really think where you are in the world, and maybe I don't think that's maybe not allowed, but I don't think that they would put me in jail for it.
No.
We just take the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that. We have to do maybe something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, 1st of February, make sure you subscribe. Do it now, do it quick. Otherwise, yeah, he will suffer severe FOMO.
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, especially with this one, it's going to be exciting. All
Yeah, this
exciting.
one is unexpected.
Yes, exactly. That's more of the word.
And these are the best always.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
like the part if you don't know really. Yeah, I don't know. And these you will stay away for like 2 days.
yeah, exactly. I love it. It'll be
So
fun.
see you on Tuesday. Make sure you subscribe. Have a good
Yeah.
day.